Alrighty, guys. Priyanshu, Raul, Esteban, welcome to the call, guys. Appreciate you being here. Okay, guys. So today we're going to do. We're planning on doing a customer service webinar where we're going to have a special guest. Jennifer Zonlo is going to talk about customer service. She unfortunately had a last minute death in the family. So she is not going to be making it to the call today. So I sent her my condolences. Hope she's doing well. So we're planning on doing a customer service webinar today. That will be postponed, but it will be happening. So Jennifer's awesome. She'll join and we'll talk about some really just simple but really powerful techniques around customer service. Hey, Miguel, thanks for joining. Around customer service and just how to get customers to come back more often just by giving them a great experience. So that's going to be postponed today because of her situation. So on this call today, we are going to do, I was planning on doing this anyway, so I'm excited to do it. Today, we're going to do a Q&A, an ask me anything type of a conversation. So today is going to be a Q&A, ask me anything. We've so far on these webinars, we've shared a lot of things. So I'm sure you have some questions. So today we're going to do an ask me anything type of a webinar. And so ask me anything, I'm just going to go ahead and title this bad boy, ask me anything. And this will be Q&A. So if you have questions about the things that we've discussed so far, now would be a great time to ask me those things. And then I can go ahead and discuss these things more thoroughly. And so if there's topics that you guys want me to go into more in depth, we're going to go through these webinars. Like, we've got a lot more to go through, a lot of new things. But even for the prior recordings, we can redo those. We can repeat those many times so that people can learn them and answer their, we can get their questions answered. So guys, today we're going to do a Q&A, an ask me anything, open mic type of thing. Before I open up the mic, I'm just sharing my screen here. Guys, go in the chat box, and then let me know what questions you have. Okay, let me know what questions you have in the chat box. I'm going to write them down here and see if there's any common things, and then I'll dive into those one by one. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. And I'm going to write some of these questions down here. Okay, so let me know what questions you guys have. I'm going to write them down here. And then I'll open it up for some Q&A here, okay? Guys, take like the next minute or two. Let me know what questions you have. Any questions? This could be anything. This could be anything. This could be related to the stuff that we've been talking about so far. Any questions you've had implementing things. Priyanshu's got some great questions. So guys, let me know what questions you have. I'm going to write them down here, and then we'll go over them a bit more in depth. Fermin is asking me questions in Spanish, so I just translated them. Yep, Priyanshu, I got your question there. Great questions, guys. Keep them coming. Lisa, good question. Great question, Priyanshu. Yeah, and we'll do these Q&As. We'll do these Q&As, every few weeks to make sure that we're answering some questions that you might have. But really, the whole goal with these webinars is to make sure that your restaurant is just never falling behind, never losing or missing out on like what's currently working today. So we're going to cover a lot of advertising, marketing stuff, but also other things too, like operations, staffing, customer service, like we'll have with a future webinar. So yeah, this will be like a very much an ongoing group. We're actually going to be making a private Facebook group as well. So we'll invite all of you to that once that is up and running, where we'll have an intimate group of restaurant owners who are hungry to grow their business and hungry to be great. So we'll get that going. We'll invite you guys to that as well. All right, guys. Let me know if you have any more questions. I'm going to go ahead and start compiling these. Good question. Oh, don't want that, do we? All righty, guys. Cool. Appreciate your patience here. So there's a bunch of different great questions. And Elisa, yes, we can get this in the doc 100%. We'll go ahead and go ahead through these questions. So Priyanshu, I'm going to actually go ahead and unmute you for a moment. And just so I can make sure that I'm giving you the best answer here. So Priyanshu, you are live if you want to talk with me. If you don't want to, that's okay as well. You're on mute. But just let me know if you can hear me, Priyanshu, and we'll have a quick chat about your situation here. And if you just prefer to stay on mute, that's totally fine as well. You can go ahead and join the call there and just unmute yourself. Priyanshu, you're on mute. And if you don't do that, that's fine too. So Priyanshu has a question around ManyChat on how to make sure that you tag a customer correctly to make sure that they only get the offer once. So let me go ahead and show you how to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and open up a ManyChat account. Priyanshu, it sounds like you're doing this pretty in depth, which is awesome. I'm happy you're doing that. So let me show you how to do that. Okay. So let me actually go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and actually make one of these from scratch. I'm going to do new flow. So right now, here's what we're on. Okay, Priyanshu. So this is what we're going to be doing right now. And let's say, for example, there's a lot of ways that you can do this. But basically, you're going to use two things. You're going to use tags and then conditions. Okay, tags and conditions. So if you have a customer coming on and redeem, and you want to tag them as a redeemer, and then you don't let them redeem that offer again, it's just simple if-then statements. So let's say, for example, you have a process like this. Let's say you say, click below when you're, I'm just kind of making this up, when you're visiting our restaurant. This might not be exactly what you have, but just as an example, this will work really well. Click below to redeem your special offer when you're visiting our restaurant. So redeem a special offer at the time of purchase when you're visiting a restaurant. Okay, cool. So then this button might say redeem. Okay. Right. It might say something like that. And then this, once they click that, we might ask them to confirm. So we might say like a warning sign here. We might say, where's that little warning emoji? Just to confirm, are you at the restaurant in front of our staff? And say, yes, I'm with, oh, I'm going to say, yes, I'm here. Something like that, right? Okay. And you can do this with redemption codes and things like that as well, but this is just going to be a good example. Okay. So then once they click that, here's when you want to do an action. And the action is going to be a tag. So let's just say we want to make a tag, and the tag is redeemed offer. And I'm just going to name this Priyanshu just as this example, right? So this person redeemed this offer. And then we might say like, great, thanks for visiting. Okay. So whenever someone goes through this and clicks this, it tags their profile as this and then sends them a message. So what you want to do is, before this whole process is starting, you want to make sure that you can only send these messages to people who do not have this tag. All right. So if you want this to just be a one-time thing, you can go like this, do a condition. And the condition is going to be a tag. So you can do tag is or tag isn't. We can just do tag is. So if the tag is redeemed, if they've got this already, we want to do nothing, right? Don't have that go anywhere. And if it doesn't match that, then it should continue. Okay. So you can also go like this as well. Tag is this. You can do messenger. Says, oops, looks like you already redeem this offer. And then you can maybe say something nice and personal. So if they have redeemed this, then it'll send them a message that says, oops, looks like you've already redeemed that offer. But this prevents people from going through it twice in that special situation. So Priyanshu, does that answer your question? Does that answer your question? That's how you set it up. Let me know if that makes sense. Okay. Perfect. Hey, Shauna, thanks for joining us here. Priyanshu says it makes sense. Perfect. Awesome. Happy that helped. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Yeah, that's okay. That's awesome. He said he can't join, but just chatting. That's fine. Cool. So if anybody wants to know some more ManyChat features in depth, we can definitely go through some more ManyChat features. But if you have any ManyChat questions in general, just let me know like specifically what questions you have in ManyChat, then I can go through there. So I'm going to go ahead and actually skip this one for now. I'm going to go do that at the bottom. Okay, this is general questions. Perfect. Okay. Next question I have coming in from Andrew is what type of image or video should we run with our offers? Great question. So the 3 different types of creatives you want to use, and you can use more than this, but at least do these 3. You want to do standard. You want to do what I call native. And then you want to do green screen. And I actually have a different webinar about this exact topic around the creatives. So this right here shows, this one right here, creatives, shows what and how to create those creatives. It's pretty in depth, but just to show you this even more, it doesn't really show you the examples. These are the examples. These are the examples right here that I would recommend running for creative. So this is what I call standard. It's just like a standard image with a banner. This is standard as well with the sushi, standard as well. This is green screen, where you have someone talking with the green screen behind them. And then this is native, where you have like written text. It kind of feels like it's coming from a friend, or doesn't feel like an ad really. That's why it's called native. So those are the types of creatives I would recommend running. There's a whole webinar about that in here. So Andrew, I'd say go ahead and check this out. I think you're new to the webinar, so that's awesome. Go ahead and check out this pre-recorded video. And then if you've still got questions on it on next call, we can definitely go over them 100%. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, start there. That'll be easiest for you. Yeah, start there. Okay. Next question here is, would you recommend running the same ad campaign to different demographics, like butter chicken burrito to Indian demographics, and the same to the rest depending on geo-targeting? I believe this is Priyanshu that asked that as well. Yep. Priyanshu, so the short answer is yes. So the short answer is yes. You want to start simple. So start simple, and then you can do more details later on. So we have this saying at our company that says, launch a canoe, and then like launch a canoe first, not a warship. So when you're launching something new, it's really easy to make sure it's like perfect and all the details are good. But there's a lot of unforeseen things that could happen throughout when you're launching stuff like this. So start simple, and then you can start doing more detailed geo-targeting. It may or may not help, right? Doing different targeting may or may not help. It's just you have to test it. You just got to test it. You got to try it out, and you can see the results. So start simple. For everybody on this call, if you're in a large city, let's say you have over, let's say 1 million people in your city, I would say target a 1 to 4 mile radius. Target everybody in 1 to 4 mile radius. Target everyone in 1 to 4 mile radius. Okay. If you're in a smaller city, let's say you have under 100,000 people, target everyone in a 10 mile radius. So just you want to target the whole city. So target 10 mile radius. Okay, so start simple. And I'm gonna go like this. So start simple. What I mean by that is just target everyone in your radius. Okay. And these are the different radiuses: large city, 1 to 4 miles, small city, 10 miles. And this is just like, this is general rules of thumb. There's always exceptions to the rule. If you're in New York City, you may want to target zip codes, because 4 miles in New York City is like so way too far, right? So Priyanshu, to answer your question, start with simple like this, and then get more detailed. So don't turn these off. I'm gonna put this in caps. Don't turn off a winning campaign. Okay, do not turn off a winning campaign. So if you've launched this already, and it's working, don't turn it off. Just launch an additional campaign. Some people think that, oh, the ads compete with each other and there's, your costs are going to go up because you're running too many campaigns. It doesn't happen. It doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. So don't turn off a winning campaign. But once you have something that's working, yes, you can then start getting more detailed with your targeting, and you can see if it helps. So you don't have to spend that much. I think this is kind of in line with this question right here. But when you're doing this, you don't have to spend a lot of money to get some results. You could spend $5 a day. You can spend $3 a day. You can spend $20 a day. It doesn't really matter. You're going to get similar results, cost per result, right? So if you do this and you spend $3 a day on it, and you're seeing that it's getting good results, then maybe you want to increase your budget on it. So you can do some detailed targeting. You could do like interest targeting. You could do interest targeting. You could also do radius, like different radius targetings. You can get like super specific pinpoint targeting, like one mile or 1 kilometer. It's like super close to you. You can do that. So I would say just test different things when you're doing your interest targeting. Just do 1 interest per ad set. So when you're doing your interest targeting, just do 1 interest per ad set. If you want to test 5 different interests, test 5 different ad sets. If you want to test different mile radiuses, make 1 for every ad set. So Priyanshu, to answer your question is, it's possible that it can help conversion. The only way to know for sure is by testing it. But I would recommend it's a good test, because what you're doing right here is you're trying to find the gold, And so if you have something that's working, you want to launch a few more variations of that to see if you can find more gold. So yes, to answer your question in a short way, yes, do this. That's what I'd recommend doing. And Priyanshu, let me know, does that answer your question? Let me know if that answers your question. Sweet. Okay, great. Next thing is a step-by-step breakdown of how you would start a campaign and priorities to launch a new restaurant. I think that was Elisa. Elisa, great question. So Elisa, I'm not sure if you were there for that webinar, but that I would recommend going, it's a full webinar to go into that. So I would say this is your one to look at right here. Okay, geo-targeted ads to get customers in 7 days. So this webinar is what I would be, that I'd recommend for you to go look at. This shows exactly how to set it up and how to start running those ads. We can go over that again. We will definitely go over that again. But I would say go through this first, and then let me know what kind of questions you have about that. In addition to that, Elisa, what I would recommend, in addition to doing this, just make sure that your online presence is set up. So what I mean by that is, here's the me. What I mean by that is make sure that you have really nice photos, Lisa. It's one thing I see most restaurant owners. Well, if you're going to make any mistakes at the beginning, I see a lot of restaurant owners and just business owners in general who may skimp a little bit or be a little cheap on photography. So I would highly recommend spend the $500, spend the $700, whatever it's going to take to get some really great photos. Really great photos of your restaurant, the outside, the inside, and the food. So that'd be the first thing I'd start with, is make sure you've got great photos. For everybody on this call, Elisa's question was around how to launch a new restaurant. So there's a lot of things I could tell you to do, but I would say make sure you've got great photos. Elisa, let me know in the chat, or I can actually unmute you as well, Lisa. Let me know in the chat, or I can unmute you. You are live, but you're on mute. If you want to talk, you can do that. Let me know. I'm curious about your photo situation. Have you hired a photographer? Are you planning on doing that? What does that look like for you? So definitely recommend hiring a photographer. Hey, Lisa, how are you?
Yeah, good yourself.
I'm doing well, thank you.
Yeah, basically, yes, we have already videos and photos of the restaurant, and we are planning to open a new concept as well.
Okay.
So yeah, I was wondering how to start, which is the best step by step to open the new site, especially because it's completely different from the first one.
What type of a concept is it?
It's a pasta bar, fresh pasta
Okay.
bar. Yeah.
Great. And have you uploaded the photos up to your Google page yet on Google?
Not yet.
Okay. Yep. So I would recommend starting there. Like when you're new, you're gonna have people, looking at you online. And so just make sure that your Instagram page, your Facebook page, your Yelp page, your TripAdvisor page, your Google page, make sure that you upload all of those photos. And you don't need to upload all of them, but I would say to upload at least 20 photos so that when people look at you, they know like what to expect. They like have a good visual of what your restaurant is. So upload some food photos, some interior of the restaurant photos, and definitely exterior as well. So I'd recommend doing that. And then this is a little bit black hat strategy, meaning like kind of against the rules of Google, but I would recommend having, get some of your friends and family to like leave some good reviews. You're not going to get punished by that by any means, but you definitely want to have, at least 20 really good reviews on here, because people don't usually go to restaurants if they only have like 2 reviews, because they might think the restaurant is closed or something. So try to get 20 reviews from friends and family, and have some good photos uploaded everywhere. So upload to Facebook, upload to Google, upload to Instagram, upload to Yelp. That'll give you like a higher likelihood of converting someone who's seeing you for the first time.
Yeah,
So,
and what about, I would like to create an hype before opening. So obviously, it would look unreal to get, reviews before the opening.
yep.
So yeah, how can I
Yep.
create that hype with the ads?
Yep. Great question. So I would use a combination of all these things. So I would use this webinar right here. So the geo-targeted ads, people take action upon these ads pretty quickly. So when you run an ad, people start usually visiting within about a week or even sooner. But when you're running these ads, you can put in your ManyChat, like you can put in here and tell people like, hey, we're opening in a month, or we're opening in 2 weeks or whatever. And so you could start running these ads like 2 weeks or a month before you open to try to build some hype. Yeah. I would also recommend using Instagram Reels. Instagram Reels can get a lot of virality and a lot of eyeballs for free. So I would recommend making some Reels videos and letting people know that this is a new restaurant opening in your area. So just show like the food, show like the outside of the restaurant. We can go in depth about like even how to create reels. We could probably do a training on that alone. But reels would be definitely something to do with hashtags. So make sure that your hashtag is local. So Elisa, where are you located?
London.
London, perfect. So you could do like hashtag London restaurant or hashtag whatever neighborhood you're in, and then that would start showing up on people's phones in the area. You may not get a lot of reach because it's just a reel, but it's possible that a few thousand people will see it locally. So I would do a combination of those things. Yeah, is that helpful?
Yeah, which message would you, like subscribe if you want to receive um, a soft opening offer or
Yeah,
something like that?
exactly. Yep. Yeah, grand opening or soft opening. Let them know that maybe the first 200 people can get a free appetizer.
All right.
Something along those lines. And you said you already have a different restaurant as well. Is that right?
Yeah.
Perfect. I would announce that. Is it in the same city? Is it also in London?
Yes, yes. Different area, but still in London.
Okay. Um, promote that there. Let your customers there know that you have this new restaurant opening too. So if you have an email list, if you have contacts from that restaurant, definitely cross-pollinate. So, it's called cross-pollinating. So if you've got existing customers, let them know about this new restaurant. And I would also promote it if you haven't already inside the restaurant. Have you done any like signage or anything inside the actual restaurant currently to tell people that the new one's opening?
No, not yet because we are still, we just complete. So
Okay. Okay, nice.
yes, so
Yep.
it's
Okay, great.
brand.
Yep. I would recommend doing all those things.
All right.
Yep. Yeah, let me know how it goes.
Okay, yeah. Thank you very much, Luke.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thanks, Lisa.
Yeah.
Raul had a question around, let's see here. Raul had a question around how to update the picture on Google. I think he had to drop off, he said, but Raul, you are not hearing me right now, but I will send you a link to that after the call. If anybody's wondering how to change that image on Google, I believe might have had that in here. I'll put it in here. How to change your Google cover photo. I'll put the link in there for that as well. Okay, let's go back to the questions here, guys. Let's go back to the questions. Budget. What is a healthy budget in the beginning week to see if the results are coming in, or if we need to change the ad creative and not end up wasting money, like $2 per sign up? How to analyze and avoid wasting money on ads? Perfect. Okay, great question. So the couple KPIs or targets you want to aim for, and this is just like a best case scenario. You want to aim for under $1, not 1,000, $1 per opt-in. So if you can get people to opt into your club or opt in for the offer for under $1 each, that's a good metric. And it's okay if it's $2. Like it's okay if it's, if it's 150 to 250, but ideal it's around this range. What really matters at the end of the day is like if people are visiting. So if people are opting in, that's great. This is a good indicator that people will visit because they're excited. A lot of people are clicking on it, and Facebook, Instagram, these social media platforms reward you in terms of your cost per lead. If you've got a great ad, if people are excited about it, you're probably going to get a pretty good cost per lead. So under $1 is a really good metric. It's okay if it's a little higher, but what really matters is, are people visiting? So we've got some restaurants where their lead cost is higher, but a lot of people visit. And we've got other restaurants where their lead cost is lower, but not as many people visit. So it just depends on the market. But this is a good place to start as a rule of thumb. So if it's around $1 or less, you're in a good place. Okay. And then a good healthy budget. Budget. The nice thing with Facebook and Instagram budgets is you don't you can spend whatever you want. So I would say you can spend between $2. You can spend between $2 to $50 per day. And so if you start with $2, if you start with $5, that's going to give you some good data so that you can test these things out and then scale up what's working. But you want to make sure that you're not making a decision too quickly. So I would say, don't decide too quickly. You're going to want to have each ad, to make a decision, you want the ad to spend, you want the ad to get at least a couple opt-ins, right? So just as a rule of thumb, maybe you want the ad to get like 3,000 impressions, 4 to 5, maybe I'll say 5 to 10, 5 to 10 opt-ins. And if you can get this, you don't want to make a decision too quickly. If you just launch an ad, for example, and you have one person click and you've only spent 10 cents, that might be really good. And it might continue to get 10-cent leads, but it's possible that you just got lucky right away. And then that doesn't keep happening. So see if you can get 3,000 impressions or 5 to 10 opt-ins, and then make your decision on whether that type of creative is working. Yeah, that's a good question. In terms of budget, your budget can be, it depends on your revenue, right? So the US SBA, the US Small Business Administration, recommends that all restaurants under $10 million per year spend between 5 to 8% of gross sales on marketing. Now, a lot of our clients don't spend between 5 and 8%, but they do spend, a lot of our clients spend, 3 to 5%. And so you don't have to follow this exact amount, but just having the mindset around, spending money to play offense, and multiply your money. So it depends on what you're comfortable with your budget. I would say to get like some decent results, depends on where you are, right? So if you're in a small city of, let's say, like under 20,000 people, that's great. Actually, a lot of our clients have great success in small towns. But then you might want to spend like, $250 to $300. I'm giving you minimums to $300 per month on ads, on Meta ads. And I'm giving you just like some baselines. So like 250 to 500 would be good. If you're in a larger city, like I said, maybe you have over 1 million people. I would say do 500 minimum. And you could do, there's a point where you spend too much money on ads as well. I would say do like 2,000 max per month. And if you're in like a mid-sized city is just going to be in the middle. So let's say you're between, you're 100,000 to, 500,000 people. You might want to spend between like, 500 and 800, something like that. So those are, again, there's always exceptions to the rule. Depends on your profit margins. It depends on those types of things. But that should help you at least have a rough starting spot of how much you should spend on the ads. We have clients that spend 300 a month. We have clients that spend 2,000 a month for one location. Just depends where you are. It depends on your your profit margins and like your results too. But to start, you don't have to spend that much. You could start on the low end here and then figure out what's working. Once you find what's working, scale it up. Fermin is asking, what do you think is a good frequency for meta ads? Fermin, you might have to give me some more context here. Can you give me some more details of what your question is around? What do you mean by this? Frequency, we recommend that you should have ads running all the time, but let me know what you mean by this, and maybe I can give you a more clear answer. What do you think about doing special campaigns for Instagram instead of mixing locations in Facebook and Instagram? So great question for me. Test it. So when you run ads on Facebook and Instagram, like when you run ads on Meta, you're going to have the ads show up on different, the ads will show up on like Facebook and on Instagram. So for me, the first thing I would look at if I were you here is first analyze it. So analyze, then test. So what I mean by analyze, I'll show you. This is one of our ad campaigns that we run for our company. And as you can see, spent about 70,000 this month so far. It's a lot, but this is a different type of a situation. You don't have to spend that much. Let's go into this campaign here. I have ads running in a bunch of different countries. And let's say, for example, I want to look at my ad here in Canada. And I look at view charts. So for me, to answer your question around, should I run on Facebook, should I run on Instagram? First, go down to this right here, and you click on view charts, and then see where your ads are currently showing up. So like you can click on platform. And don't worry about this results thing. That results thing is not accurate in this. But you can look at the reach. So these ads are running and being viewed on Facebook. Almost 2,500 times they've been viewed. And this one's been viewed on Instagram 1,800 times. So this one is running on both platforms pretty evenly. If you find that one of your ad campaigns is you've selected both platforms for targeting, but you've seen that it's only being served on Facebook for some reason, even though you selected both placements, or it's only being shown on Instagram, even though you selected both placements. That sometimes happens. That's okay. But then you might want to test this by duplicating the ad set and only selecting it to be on, I'll show you what I mean. You can hit duplicate and only select it to be on Facebook or only select it to be on Instagram. So for example, if you scroll down here in your placements, right here on placements where it says recommended, this will be on all placements, and you can click manual. So for me, the short answer to your question is test it. So you'll want to make your same tests like I covered up here, same test like you're doing with, maybe you're doing different interest targeting or any test you're making, do it at the ad set level. So at the ad set, you can then click these platforms on or off. So let's say, for example, I just want to test it on Instagram. Boom, I can uncheck Facebook and uncheck audience network. And it's just going to be shown now on Instagram. And you can hit publish. And vice versa for just on Facebook, you can make a new ad set, duplicate it again, and just make it on Facebook. Then you can look at your results and see what's working. So be careful around making judgments though. Be careful around making judgments. Just because one ad worked better on Instagram or one ad worked better on Facebook, don't make your judgment just on one ad. Do it like that across all your ads, and you might find that you see a trend. Instagram is working way better. Now you know. Or you might see that sometimes Instagram works better, sometimes Facebook works better. So then it's not as clear of an answer and you want to do both. So for me, I hope that helps. For me, let me know if that helps. Okay, so for me, back here was asking about the frequency, the good frequency for ads. The frequency for your ads means, like you said, how many times a user is viewing your ads. So with this is actually not, this is not a metric that I put a lot of weight on. It's not a metric that I look at or put a lot of importance on, but it can help you if you see that your ad is being seen too many times, you might be spending too much money. So for example, if you're in a town of 50,000 people and you're spending $2,000 per month, it's probably too much money because there's not 30 million people who live there, right? You're just spending too much. So what I would look at for me here is you want to look at your impressions and your reach. So reach is how many people, okay? And then impressions is how many times it was seen, potentially by the same person, right? So when I look at my ads, if I have like a 2-to-1 on reach and impressions, that's okay. Like that's good. Even a 1-to-1 is fine. But once you start reaching 10,000 people, I'm just using round numbers. If you reach 10,000 people and you see that the impressions is like 30,000 or 50,000 or 90,000, you're reaching those people like a lot, like they're seeing your ad so many times. And that's good to an extent, right? That's really good actually that they're seeing your name a ton, but it's also possible that you're just like overspending. You're trying to like just force it upon them too much. So I would say like, having like a 1-to-2 or a 1-to-3 is a good ratio. Anything over that, you might be overspending. And so you could lower your budget, lower your daily budget, and still get the same results. So again, this is a general rule. There's always exceptions to all the rules, but this is this is in general the way I'd recommend thinking about it. Yep. This question here, quarterly, you guys send out quarterly flyers. How can we convert the flyers with QR code or something like that can help us collect data through ManyChat and Facebook Messenger? Okay, great question. So I've had this question actually come up quite a bit. If you're sending out flyers, some people, you might want to put QR codes on them to get people to scan the QR code. I actually wouldn't really recommend this. The results are usually not great. So just to give you an example, and to make this make sense, there's just higher leverage ways you can get people to scan a QR code. So I would recommend, instead of putting a QR code on a flyer, I would recommend put a QR code inside your restaurant, right? Put a QR code inside your restaurant. We actually went over that right here. Oh, where is that? Here it is, generate repeat visits with QR codes. So put a QR code inside your restaurant. I would recommend against putting it on a flyer, just because it's a lot of friction, right? So you're basically doing two types of marketing in one, so it just doesn't make it super effective, because you have to send the flyer and not everybody reads the flyer, so they might throw it in the garbage. And then not everybody scans a QR code either. So you're doing like you're asking people to do two things. You're asking them to not throw away the flyer and you're asking them to scan a QR code. So the numbers usually of putting QR codes on flyers usually is not the best. If you're going to do flyers, I would recommend just telling people they can go online, or just to bring the flyer into the restaurant, just have one thing. And again, this is a general rule. This is a general statement. There's always exceptions. So you could try it and it might work really, really well. But there's better ways to get people to get and scan QR codes and opt into a database. So I would recommend against doing the QR codes on the flyers, but try it. You can always try it and you can see how many people scan it. So you can see if it works or not. So with all this stuff, it's really all about testing it and seeing what happens in your local market. Yeah. All right, guys. Fermin here has got a question around when do we use recognition campaigns and interaction campaigns? Fermin, can you give me a little bit more on this? Can you let me know what you mean by this? Just give me a little bit more detail and see if I can help you. Okay. All right, guys. Daniel, Lisa, Esteban, Lindy, Miguel, Fermin, as we've got about 5 minutes left. I'll share this doc with you guys as well. This is going to be Ask Me Anything Q&A for 2023. And I'll keep you updated on the customer service webinar. Hopefully that'll be happening possibly next week. But if not, we'll have more things to go over. So guys, I hope this is helpful. I will put this document in our sheet so you can have that. And if you are getting stuck on anything, take note, let me know. We can go over this and more on our webinar next week, guys. So I'll leave it open for about 2 more minutes, and you guys can let me know if you have any more questions, okay? Awesome, Lindy. Have a nice day as well. Thank you so much. And guys, I don't usually ask for favors. I don't usually love asking for favors, but if you wouldn't mind, I actually love if you're finding value out of these webinars, I'd love to ask you for a Google review. Google reviews help our business just as much as they help restaurants. So if you wouldn't mind, I would love if you could leave me a Google review. No pressure, obviously, but I just put a link down there in chat. If you want to leave a 5-star review, only if you're loving these webinars and you're getting value from them, try to share a lot of valuable stuff. So if you're getting value from the webinars, I would super appreciate a 5-star review. No pressure. Just thought I might ask. Miguel was asking, what promotion ideas would be good for frequent customers in my deli? Miguel, great question. What promotion ideas would be good for frequent customers in my deli? So there's a lot of tools we can use here. In the webinar that I did around this one right here, I would recommend go ahead and take a look at this. This is where I really went in depth around what offers work really well with these ads. So go ahead and take a look at that. And then another tool you can use as well is ChatGPT. It's an AI tool. And I'm actually just going to copy and paste. I'm going to copy and paste what you just asked me, and some AI can help us with some answers here. So it's pretty cool. We actually covered AI on a different webinar too. So this is a pretty cool way of just getting some ideas from AI. But Miguel, I think the best thing for you to do would be to go and take a look at this webinar right here. Geo-targeted ads get customers in 7 days. That's going to be the one that has the most, a lot of value there. Boom. Go ahead and take a look at that. Alicia is asking, is there a way to monitor how much a converted customer is spending? In simple words, what is the ROI on our investment in ads and campaign? Yes, Lisa, 100%. So with our techniques, especially with what we do for our clients, we can measure and track exactly how many people are coming in and what they're spending. So what I would recommend for you is to make a button on your point of sale. Make a button on your point of sale. And whenever someone comes in, they show you the phone, they say, hey, I'm here for this special offer. Like they're going to order like normal. They're going to order full price, everything. They're just going to get that free dessert or that free appetizer or whatever. So just go ahead and make a button on your point of sale. And whenever someone brings this in, make sure your staff is then pressing that button. Could be a promotion button, could be a comp, could be whatever you want to name it. And that way you can run a report in your point of sale, how many times that specific button was pressed, and then the revenue that is associated with that whole order. And then look at how much money you spent on ads. So if you have 100 people coming in, and those 100 orders, 3,000 in revenue, and you spent $500 on the ads, then you can say, okay, you spent $500 on ads to generate 3,000 in revenue, right? So that's how you can measure it. We could talk about ROI and how to think about ROI as well. That's probably a longer conversation, but that's how you can measure it. Yep. Awesome, guys. Cool. Well, it looks like the questions are coming to an end. So thank you so much for being here, guys. At the end of every webinar, I'd just like to thank you. I know your time is valuable. Spent about 59 minutes with me today. So I hope it's valuable. Hope this stuff helps you guys. On next week, I'm really excited for this stuff next week. We're going to be talking, hopefully, about customer service and some really, really simple but powerful techniques you can use inside your restaurant to get customers to come back and just be happier customers. So I'll see you guys next week. And thanks so much for being here, guys. Cheers. Thank you, Eliza. Appreciate it. Cheers, guys. Bye.